outside. Just gone fishing for the last few days, and this has been staying in one corner because I wanted to do this video, and that is the day, or today is the day to do that. So we're gonna do both rods and reels, okay? And we have several types here. We have conventional and we have spin. And also light and sorry, we're outside. We live near here, so you know the deal. So every so often it's going to be like airplanes passing through, and my daughter is kind enough to help us today. So yay to free labor. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, we talk about the hows and whys of fishing. We cover everything from big game, ultralight, everything in the middle, including fly fishing. And today, I'm going to show you how I wash my my rods and reels. Now, here's the thing. The reels are over here, and there's some that's inside. And I'm not going to cover those because most of you guys are actually going to be using spinning reels anyway, so we're going to do that. We have some materials here, water of course, and I'll show you examples of how I do things. Now here's the thing, there's some here that are in various degrees of usage, okay? So dirtiness, as you can say, some that I used in water that, or in places where it's kind of muddy, sandy and all of that, and then there's some that are just kind of clean. So yeah, today we're going to clean those and see the levels of how we're going to go about things. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is talk about the materials that we have here. We have a small bucket of water, which we will use to rinse. We have a spray bottle, and this has tiny bit of cleaning agent in it, and it's actually a what do you call this? A disinfectant that I use, and it's stuff that cleans the table. And then I diluted it heavily with water and soapy water right here. Okay, so this is like a bit of dishwashing soap, and then I have two types of toothbrushes. This is soft bristle, and this is a used hard bristle type. All right, so we use these to just take off some of the dirt that's really embedded, and then this one, it's used to just kind of pick the loose stuff off. Okay, so first thing, we're gonna soak that up there so that there's. Okay, first step is to actually get a sponge. All right, and I'm just gonna wash that. Okay, take the and there's no soap in this. Okay, so do that. Okay, handles are often neglected, so this is an ultralight, one of our ultralight rods. So here, as you can see, I'm actually putting the nut of the reel seat down, and then I push it up. Okay, so often neglected, but when you're using this, especially in salt water, what happens is that salt gets in there, so you have to wash it. All right, now back here, and the foam. Okay, just rub the foam, because the thing with foam is that if you don't really wash it thoroughly, there's a bit of dust that gets trapped there. So just rub that gently. Then I just use the soft part of the foam. Okay, so right now we're just rinsing it. Fine. Have to be very careful with this. All right, so because the guides are very delicate and they're small. All right, so this is just shallow cleaning because I know that for this particular rod, it wasn't heavily used. So for the foam, or for the smaller guides, I wet the foam and then put it in the middle, squeeze like that. That pretty much takes care of washing the guides, because sometimes that's the most delicate part there. All right. Of course, not to forget this, we do that. Okay. Now I take the toothbrush, okay, the soft one, and what I do is actually the nook there. I just do it like that. Okay. Okay. The base of the guides, good for the soft toothbrush, like so. Okay. The part here, the winding check. Okay. Then the insides here, soft toothbrush. Right. Open this. Okay. Here. Then just like so, and then move it up the back there, right, like so. Okay, again, winding check. This is just a, there we go. Then stainless bit here, just do that. Okay, do the same for these. Base, like so. Okay, there we go. Now, this is what I rinse them with. So, just so I know that the nooks and crannies are getting hit. That, okay, because it's so hard to actually make sure that the nooks and crannies are hit. So this is just an old spray bottle, and just do that. I used to just run water and all, but I'm gonna be storing these for some time, so I'm going to. And this is basically how I rinse them clean before I dry them up. Okay, so I know that part is super clean. Okay, right. Okay. Same with this. Now, before I store this, what I'll do is actually put them in a place where they could dry up. Okay, you can take a towel like so, and then kind of dry it up first like that before you put them in a place where they could completely dry. Okay, it's ready, and all it needs is to completely dry up. I'm just gonna put it here on the side. Have to make sure that the dogs don't get to it. All right, so pretty much it is the same procedure for most of the gear. So I will segregate everything that was lightly used. We'll deal with those later. But now let's go to the stuff that was heavily used. Okay, so what I want to do is actually arrange them in sections, because some of the sections actually have more grit than the others. Okay, so those sections have less than these, and then the heaviest grime is actually in here. Okay, so there we go. Now we will deal with the sections that have less grit. We'll deal with them first because they're the easiest. Okay, so again, let's rinse them. And it's very important to actually wet each guide, because sometimes what happens is that the stuff that sticks, okay, from seaweed to some sand particles and all that, they get loosened up when you wet. And as you can see, I'm not really using up a lot of water. Okay, so blank, of course, just like that, so that if there are stuff that's stuck to it, it's actually going to be loosened. Okay, go. Okay, now we'll take our brush and go in between the guides, even the rings, like so. That very important. Go and do this for each guide. All right, so now a bit about these rods. Okay, these rods are actually older than the person. I've had these rods. Okay, I've had these rods longer than the person holding the camera right now. So as you can see, I have taken good care of them, and they've lasted this long. And I'll show you that some parts of the one rod actually is starting to disintegrate because of old age. But I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about later. That's just how old these are, and they look new. Okay, so just okay. So inspect. All right. So I'm gonna again just blast this with this right here, just to make sure that I got everything. Okay. Okay. Seeing close here, I'm seeing some green stuff. So what I'll do is just really concentrate on that with the toothbrush. and it usually comes off. I have like a bit of what do you call this, sandpaper here. I am just going to just lightly scrub that off. And sometimes you just have to get a pick like I have here, just to be able to just scrape the stuff off. Now I'm just very anal when it comes to these things. Okay, so just so the stuff lasts. So this affects the welds. So all you have to do is like with a pick, just really scrape the stuff, because that is what really affects things. So before you dry it up, after you pick everything out, okay, just rinse it. Again, we're not really using a lot of water for this, okay, as you can see. And I usually do this like probably a few times each season, and especially when I am about to store these for the long term. This is something that I really do, and religiously. Okay, so now that these sections are done, we're gonna put them this side right here. The middle sections are actually very easy because there's only 2 guides for these. Alright, so very fast on this. Let's put some more water. Take some more water. Okay, these are the easiest to work on. Okay, so again, just rinse. So, and sometimes, okay, for some weird reason, water or sand gets in there, and I do, just dip it like that. Okay, and here as well, So there are times when, I don't know, when you're out fishing and then you just drop this. So put some water in there, and then tip it over and just rinse everything. Okay, because it happened to me a few times that there's some sand that went in because while I was trying to put things together, it actually fell in the sand. The accidents happen, Some rods have covers here, and obviously not on this section because you're putting sections there, but it happens. So just do that from what do you call this? Just habit. All right, now heavy brush, all like that. Now it's easier to spot corrosion here because it's bigger. Okay, and then it's just easy to clean. So you're not gonna really spend a lot of time doing this. Okay, just rinse, blank. So, all right. As you can see here, this one is quite dirty. Okay, tilt this one and then zoom in. Tilt this so that you can see this, and then zoom in. Tilt this Okay, here, and then zoom in so you could see. As you can see, guys, it's yeah. So compared to this one, which isn't really as dirty. Okay, so this rod is so old that this thing is cracking. All right, so we're gonna take care of all of that. Okay, there's a little bit of rust here that we're gonna take care of. This is stainless steel, so that's really just surface rust right there. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how I do it. Okay, okay, there. Don't hold it there because it will overheat. Yeah. Okay. All right. So very first thing, of course, is to just wet everything, right? And while you're doing this, take note of where the sand there. Take care of where the dirty parts are, because guess what? When you wet them, you'll hardly see them. All right. So again, just do that. Remember to move this up and down while you're doing this, so that you really hit those places. All right. So now that this is nice and wet, all right, let's set it aside. Take care of this one. I think this is actually a newer model than this one here, because they actually did put the rubber on this part, the rubber winding check on this part, and you can see that there's a difference. This is also way lighter than this one right here. They're both really light rods actually. All right, so now we start scrubbing. This one had a lot of dirt here. All right, do that. Okay, and then move this. Okay, brush there. Don't forget the corners, the edges. That's that's where a lot of the stuff gets stuck. All right, so do that. All right, this section right here. Okay, wooden section. Okay, so this whole handle. Okay, just brush it so that even the I'm not putting a lot of pressure. This is just the surface. So okay, then we do the guides. Okay, do this. For you guys that don't know what these rods are, these are surf rods. These are South African surf rods, and they are conventional rods. So the reel is here. Okay, you cast like that. UK style rods are similar. Only South African rods are way stiffer. But these are very light. Very, very lightweight. Very, very lightweight. Okay, this brand is a sub-brand of Daiwa, I think. It's called Poseidon. They're not expensive at all. You know, in what do you call this? In let's say in terms of like the type of gear that's now available, these are actually very good value. And for the type of fishing that I do, these are more than enough. Of course, we have better ones actually, which you'll see down the line. All right, so that's that. With this one, okay. You just need to. I like spraying the corners because I know that I might have missed a few bits. So this just takes care of it. Okay. And then last rinse. Alright, this guy needs a bit more TLC. Okay, so we have a bit of rust with this one. And actually, you know what? We knocked out a bit of the rust, which is great. So it makes it easier. Now, I think what happened with this one is that I stuck it on a rock somewhere before, and that's how it got the rust. The last time I used this actually was about a year ago at the Palm, and yeah, I don't know if I actually just stored it without cleaning, and I'm being honest, maybe I did. But this is surface rust, and the majority of the rust actually got taken care of by just this scouring pad. That's it. Alright, so there's some stubborn ones here that we can just really go to town with. Okay, there's a bit there that I know I can just, you know. There we go, you can see that it's getting taken off right there. This is not gonna hurt anything, obviously. You know, this is purely cosmetic. Alright, that's it. That is it. Okay, so now we just rinse. And it's done. Okay, so now I'll just leave it here to dry. Alright, so move there. Okay. Yes or no?
Yep.
What? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Dad.
Okay. Ready?
Mm.
Okay, I know a lot of you guys are here for the reels. Okay, so reel method is very easy. Okay, first and foremost, I have an old T-shirt here, cotton, and towel. Okay, so okay, so this is water with a little bit of disinfectant, and I spray and wet the rag. Okay, as you can see, there's a little bit of bubble there and all that. Okay, just like that. Okay. Okay. Now, what I do is I take my reel and then just wipe every single. Now, you tighten your drag. Okay, you tighten your drag so that nothing gets in. All right. So, what I do then is just wipe it down like so. Okay, just wipe it down. See, the thing is, I don't have to rinse this. Even if I could literally, all three of these, I could go to the shower and like go to town with it. Okay, in the shower, especially the Stella. and the Twin Power XD. Okay, and if you actually look at if they're JDM, the box will actually contain shower okay or not. And these guys have the shower okay symbol. Okay, so there you go. Just clean it, every single nook and cranny that you can actually see. All right. And this reel is at least 3 years old and still looks brand new. I have reels that are older than my daughter, and they still actually look like they were bought brand yesterday. Okay, that's it. Okay, now that's moist. Okay, what I do after is take a towel, a dry one, and then wipe it down. Now, a lot of people would say like, hey, but it's exposed to salt water and all this. Now, this is cleaning. This is not maintaining. Okay, so if I have several reels that I've been using for the whole season, at the end of the season or at the start of the season, I do a maintenance cleanup, a maintenance and the cleanup, the deep clean, and that's the time when I would actually pull everything out and all this, and then a lot of people would also say, Kit, what about the braid? Yeah, okay. So the braid, I don't really wash the braid, you know. A lot of it is just very light residue. Now, at the very most, what I do is take the spool off, okay, run some water there, and that's it. Just wet the surface where I see. That's it. And guess what? These braids, these reels, have been working fine for me for a really long time. Now, you'll say, what about the salt water? The Gulf where we fish, okay, is roughly 3 times saltier than most of the places on Earth, aside from the Dead Sea, where it's saltier, okay? But it's really corrosive. 3 times. 3 times the normal level of salinity than any sea on Earth, any other place on Earth, okay? Aside from salt flats and all that. So, these things are holding up just by me doing this. Okay, and I don't care if, people say, like, oh, that's the wrong way. But guess what? I've been doing this for years, and look at this. It looks brand new. And guess what? I've been using this a lot. This type of, or this way of cleaning works, okay? The guy who taught me this was Sifu, alright? So, Lang Chua, shout out to you, Sifu. Okay, his reason for doing this is very simple. And before all of this, my dad and I washed our gear conventionally, after every fishing trip, we'd line them all up, and then we would spray them down and stuff. It kind of worked, but we ended up with gear that after a few years looked as old as they were. And when I started doing this, my reels actually kept their newly bought appearance, and sometimes they look unused. All right, even if I'm very abusive with my gear, for the most part, well, I use them correctly, So, yeah, that's why I often wonder why people just I don't understand when people have gear that looks like they've been through a war or something, So, okay, just by doing this, it helps. Okay, now after this, you could doing this, let's say 4 or 5 times within the season, after you wipe it down, you put oil, the bearings and all that, just to keep things moving. I've just finished maintaining 2 reels inside the house just before this video was done, and that's that. Alright, so that's it, guys. I have two more to wash, but you don't need to see that because you pretty much saw the meat of this whole thing. If you have questions, drop them in the comment section. And if you've learned from this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to learn more, click on the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Alright, so that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Class dismissed.